We have some breaking news tonight. According to a court filing, special counsel Robert Mueller's office says former Trump campaign chairman Manafort lied to the FBI and to the special counsel in a breach of his plea agreement. And that's according to a filing intended to update the court on Manafort's cooperation. Meanwhile, Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz, who's been an ally of President Trump, predicts the impact of Mueller's report will be, quote, devastating to the president. And now, fresh off his Thanksgiving vacation, Trump has resumed his attacks on the special counsel's investigation today as he and the country await Robert Mueller's next move. Well, Trump appears to be defending himself from the damaging information that Mueller may soon reveal. Quote, when Mueller does his final report, will he be covering all of his conflicts of interest in a preamble? Will he be recommending action on all the crimes of many kinds from those on the other side? And will he be putting in statements from hundreds of people closely involved with my campaign who never met, saw, or spoke to a Russian during this period? There was no collusion, and Mueller knows it. Well, the tweets from Trump appears to signal that Trump is preparing for something truly big. It comes a day after Alan Dershowitz made that ominous prediction about what Trump should expect from Mueller's investigation.
I think the report is going to be devastating to the president, and I know that the president's team is already working on a response to the report.
What also seems increasingly likely now that right-wing conspiracy theorist Jerome Corsi will be the next domino to fall in the ongoing collusion probe. Corsi, who's widely credited with inventing, if that's the word for it, the birther lie about former President Obama, is suspected of having advanced knowledge that WikiLeaks would release Russian-hacked emails belonging to Hillary Clinton's campaign manager. Well, today, NBC News reported that Corsi says special counsel Robert Mueller offered him a plea deal on one count of perjury related to statements about his contact with WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. However, after negotiating with prosecutors, Corsi says he plans to reject the deal. I'm joined right now by David Corn, Washington Bureau Chief for Mother Jones, Michael Steele, the former chair of the RNC, Barbara McQuade, former federal prosecutor, Peter Baker, chief White House correspondent for the New York Times. Let me go to Barbara. What do we make of this development with regard to what went wrong with the Manafort plea deal? It seems to be broken all over.
Yeah, I haven't seen the report that Robert Mueller's team filed, but it could be devastating for a lot of people. If he lied, then he loses his value as a cooperator, and the deal is off. What it means for Paul Manafort, usually what happens is the plea is accepted, so the guilty plea stands, but the plea agreement can be voided if he has lied. By failing to comply with the terms, the deal is off. And so instead of getting a motion for a reduced sentence in exchange for cooperation, he now faces the guidelines, which I think were something like 17 to 20 years in prison. And so we go back to where they would have been if he had pleaded guilty without cooperation. It's also of negative consequence, I think, to Mueller and his team, who were probably hoping to get information that they could use against others in the organization based on Manafort's testimony. If he has lied to them, he's lost his value as a cooperator.
Well, according to the court filing, after signing the plea agreement, Manafort committed federal crimes by lying to the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the special counsel's office on a variety of subject matters, which constitutes breaches of the agreement. Peter Baker, let me ask you two questions at once. What do you make of the Manafort fall apart here, where he's going away for a long time because of lying, even in this late stages of deal making? But also, what's going on with Dershowitz saying, my God, it's devastating what's coming to Trump?
Yeah, that's a great question. We don't know what Alan Dershowitz knows that might make him feel that way, other than what we all know publicly. And what we know publicly, of course, is that Robert Mueller's pulled together a lot of disparate threads of this story, and we don't know how they all add up. But the parts of them already known publicly are pretty damning in their own way. What the Manafort thing means is an open question. As George has said, we wanted to, presumably the special prosecutor wanted out of Manafort was information about other people, particularly about the campaign, what he might be able to tell them. And if he is now deemed to be a liar even after the plea agreement, he does seem to lose some value as a witness. You can certainly imagine President Trump and his advocates saying, once a report comes out, why should anything that comes from Paul Manafort be trusted, given that he has apparently a pattern of prevarication that will, in fact, make him, suspect in terms of any damning information he might provide the prosecutors.
Well, I'm joined right now, Peter, by NBC national security reporter Ken Delaney. And Ken, what do we make of this? Manafort was one of the star witnesses here. Apparently now he's going to get no credit for his witnessing.
That's right, Chris. I'm not sure he would have been a star witness because of the credibility problems that you were just talking about. But prosecutors did hope to get new information from him about what happened during the campaign. And they are saying flat out that he has lied to them in these discussions that they've been having with him since the plea agreement. It's remarkable because in the document, prosecutors say that Manafort disagrees and doesn't believe he lied. But if, in fact, Mueller is going to go to court and say that Manafort lied, he must have some proof of this. He must have documentary corroborating evidence that shows that things that Manafort said in these discussions flatly aren't true. And so it's really hard to know exactly what to make of this until we see the details. And the details are not in this document. Mueller is, in fact, saying he's going to file a document later explaining the ways in which Manafort lied. But it's just an incredible development. And if it's true, it just shows it's another level of recklessness from Manafort, who, after all, allegedly tampered with witnesses while he was under indictment, which led him to be thrown in jail.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.